On April 26th this year, the United Republic of Tanzania celebrated the 51st anniversary of the union between the mainland Tanganyika and the islands Zanzibar. Although the unification was a milestone in the post-colonial history of the African continent and beneficial to the region's peace, both Tanganyika and Zanzibar have had grievances about the union for decades. This has led to numerous debates that have even questioned the union's legitimacy and relevance. KTN's political editor Ben Kitilli takes an in-depth look into the union, which has been a major issue in the 2015 election campaigns.
In April 1964, Tanganyika and Zanzibar came together to form the United Republic of Tanzania, the first ever political union between two independent countries in Africa in the post-colonial era. Although the Zanzibar Revolution of 1964 fast-tracked the unification, the Pan-Africanist ideologies of the two countries' leaders, the late Mwalimu Julius Nyerere and the late Sheikh Abeid Karume, were a major factor in uniting the two states.
We are a nation because of the union. You know, this is 1964. You are talking about more than 50 years. So more than half of our population, they have no idea what this country was before 1964. So most of us identify as Tanzanians. So in the absence of the union, our nationhood is actually, quite threatened. Secondly, it has become part of our culture. Three, it is really very difficult now to talk of two different countries. So it is really political, it is really ideological, it is really cultural. That is the essence of our union. Economically, not much. Security, yes, is a very important security issue. We have no idea what would happen if Zanzibar was not part of the union. We have no idea if it became independent, because do not forget that one of the biggest push to have this union was the question of the security. So if you remove Zanzibar from the question of Tanzania, we have no idea what our security is going to look like. So it is also the question of security. Yeah.
And so how does the union work? Tanzania has a president and vice president, both of who are elected to a 5-year term. The president of Tanzania appoints a prime minister to lead government business in the national parliament, a 357-member house. Zanzibar is semi-autonomous and elects its own president and 2 vice presidents. The legislative authority in Zanzibar over all non-union matters is vested in a House of Representatives. For example, as Tanzania's presidential hopefuls continue their hunt for votes, so do the presidential candidates in Zanzibar. Maalim Seif Sharif Hamad, who is the incumbent first vice president of Zanzibar, is also the opposition coalition UKAO presidential candidate in Zanzibar under the Civic United Front, CUF, which is extremely popular in Zanzibar.
The union is a very big political agenda in Zanzibar. It is very unpopular in Zanzibar not to support some level of independence of the Zanzibar as a country. Is very unpopular. And for CCM, it's very difficult to really very clearly say that we support Zanzibar autonomy, because the Union of TAN and ASP creating the CCM was based on the union structure.
But are there any positives on either side?
Security, yes, is a very important security issue. We have no idea what would happen if Zanzibar was not part of the union. We have no idea if it became independent, because do not forget that one of the biggest push to have this union was the question of the security.
This has led to Zanzibar residents developing strong Zanzibari nationalism, many of them demanding that the union be dissolved. That dissolution call has been led by the Civic United Front, CUF, and has been a major sticking point in the Tanzanian constitution-making process.
The biggest question is really to have very frank, open, transparent debate about the state of the union and remove this from the level of the politicians, because now the discussion is really about the politicians. It's not too much about people. And we go back to the Warioba Commission report, which did a very thorough analysis regarding the challenges of the union and how they can be resolved. I think that there is a very fair agreement that we need to relook our structure. Maybe the two government structure of the union is no longer working for us.
So why did the two nations unite? Besides the vision of Karume and Nyerere, some scholars, including the late Professor Ali Mazrui, have contended that there was pressure from the United States and Britain to unite in the wake of the Cold War. The union between Tanganyika and Zanzibar has been a mixed bag of fortunes. For the big part, experts say there has been calls for dissolution for the two countries to focus on integration in East Africa. Whether that is viable at present is the question, and it is a real question in 2015 as Tanzanians prepare to elect their next government and subsequently complete the constitution-making process. Ben Kitilli, KTN News, Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.